Hello. Thank you for taking time for yourself again and joining me here. Let's explore together today where our strength might be hiding. Tell me, are you familiar with the feeling when fatigue washes over you by midday, as if you hadn't slept at all? Or when your joints ache as if they predict the weather better than any barometer? Or perhaps you notice that you forget why you walked into a room, or that your skin has become somewhat dull, not as firm as it used to be? Sometimes it seems like it's just age taking its toll, but what if I told you, perhaps you're aging a bit faster than nature intended? Our body is an amazing system, but with age, the recovery processes slow down, while the accumulation of minor damage speeds up. Imagine an internal ember, inflammation, that quietly smolders due to the wrong fuel, or a light rust on the cells, oxidative stress. And do you know what adds fuel to this fire and speeds up the rusting? Often, it's our familiar favorite foods, soft white bread that seems so tender, sweet buns and cookies that offer momentary comfort, but then leave us drained, or convenient yet treacherous sausages. They are like fast but unreliable friends who promise a party and then disappear, leaving a mess behind. But there's good news. We can help our bodies work better, feel more vigorous, energetic, think more clearly, and sleep better. And this doesn't require heroic efforts or expensive medications. It's enough to make a few simple but very important substitutions in your usual diet and lifestyle. I promise you that after following these simple recommendations, you will feel a surge of energy, lightness in your body, and clarity in your mind. These tips are accessible to everyone, and they really work. Let's figure out together how to turn back time and reclaim the joy of movement and a sense of well-being. Stay with me until the end, and you'll learn simple secrets that will help you flourish at any age. So, let's start with perhaps the most common signal our tired body sends us. The first sign to pay attention to is constant fatigue, especially after lunch, and sharp energy fluctuations throughout the day. You know how it is. One moment you're full of energy, ready to move mountains, and an hour later, it feels like someone pulled out the battery. Often, the culprits are fast carbohydrates and sugar. That sweet bun with tea, white rice as a side dish, mashed potatoes, or even seemingly harmless breakfast cereals. They give a sharp burst of energy, like a flash of gunpowder, but then blood sugar levels plummet just as quickly, leaving you drained and often craving something sweet again. It's like a roller coaster for your body, up and then immediately down. So, what can you do? Try replacing white bread, sweet pastries, white rice, and sugary drinks with whole grain bread, porridges made from whole grains, slow-cook oats, buckwheat, quinoa, legumes, nuts, and fruits. These are slow carbohydrates that release energy gradually, like the steady flame of a fireplace, giving you a stable feeling of fullness and alertness for a long time. Let me tell you the story of Elizabeth. She's 68 years old. Elizabeth always considered herself quite active, but for the last couple of years, post-lunch drowsiness started to overwhelm her. Right after lunch, she felt an irresistible urge to take a nap, and by 4 in the afternoon, she felt completely exhausted. Her salvation was a strong cup of tea with 2 or 3 cookies. "It's my little ritual," she said. "It helps me get through until evening." She knew it wasn't very healthy, but giving up the familiar pleasure and quick pick-me-up seemed impossible. Can a handful of nuts really compare to a crispy sweet cookie? She doubted, but the fatigue grew stronger, and she decided to try. At first, it felt strange. Instead of cookies, she started bringing a small handful of almonds and an apple. The first few days, it felt like something was missing. But after just a week, Elizabeth noticed that she didn't feel as sleepy after lunch. And by 4 p.m., she still felt energetic enough to go for a walk with her granddaughter instead of sitting in her armchair, dreaming of the sofa. Why did this happen? The nuts and apple gave her a steady supply of energy and fiber, which slowed down the absorption of carbohydrates rather than a sharp sugar spike. Her body stopped experiencing that glucose roller coaster. Psychologically, she also felt better. The dependence on the sweet savior was gone, replaced by a sense of control over her state. What's the benefit for you? By replacing fast carbs with slow ones, you'll get a stable energy level without sharp dips, improve your focus and concentration, and possibly even notice that your craving for sweets has decreased. Your day will become smoother and more productive, A small swap in your snack or side dish can make a big difference in how you feel all day long. Try giving slow carbs a chance to become your new friends. So, having dealt with the energy roller coaster, let's now turn our attention to another common signal our body might send. I'm talking about aching joints and morning stiffness. The second warning sign is when joints start aching more often than usual, especially in the morning, or stiffness appears in your movements. It feels as if your body has turned wooden and you need time to loosen up. Often, chronic inflammation in the body is behind this, that quiet internal fire we talked about, and certain foods can fuel it particularly strongly. Primarily, these are processed red meat, sausages, bacon, fried foods, margarine, and an excess of omega-6 fatty acids, often found in sunflower corn oil. They are like adding fuel to the fire of inflammation. So, what can help? Try replacing some processed meat and fried dishes with fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, herring, rich in anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. Add more berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, leafy greens, spinach, kale, nuts, especially walnuts, and use extra virgin olive oil. These foods are like real firefighters for your body. They help extinguish inflammation. Let's recall John. He's 72 years old. John always loved a hearty breakfast, and eggs with bacon or sausages were his unchanging morning ritual. That's the taste of life, an energy boost for the whole day, he insisted. But in recent years, morning stiffness in his knees and back became his constant companion. Getting out of bed was quite an ordeal. His doctor advised him to change his diet, but John brushed it off. At my age, it's too late to change anything, and I don't believe food affects things that much. His wife, worried about him, slowly started making changes. Instead of fried bacon a couple of times a week, breakfast featured an omelet with spinach, and for dinner, baked salmon instead of the usual meat patty. John grumbled at first, missing his sausages, but after a month or a month and a half, he noticed with surprise that getting up in the morning was easier. The stiffness hadn't disappeared completely, but it had significantly decreased. He could bend down more easily to tie his shoes, and the walk to the store stopped being torture. Physiologically, the omega-3s from the fish and antioxidants from the greens and berries began to lower the levels of inflammatory markers in his blood. It's like oiling a creaky hinge. Movement becomes smoother. Psychologically, John felt not only physical relief, but also a surge of optimism. It turned out he could still influence how he felt. What's the benefit for you? By reducing your intake of pro-inflammatory foods and adding anti-inflammatory ones, you may notice a reduction in joint pain, less morning stiffness, and greater ease of movement. This is an investment in your mobility and active longevity. Take care of your joints from the inside by feeding them the right foods. They will surely repay you with gratitude and ease of movement. Helping your joints is important, but taking care of the clarity of our minds is just as crucial. After all, you'd agree, when thoughts get tangled, it also significantly reduces quality of life. The third sign to pay attention to is that very brain fog and forgetfulness. This is when thoughts get muddled. It's hard to concentrate. You find yourself forgetting names, dates, or why you went into another room more often. Of course, some forgetfulness is normal with age, but if it interferes with your daily life, it's worth taking a closer look at your habits. The brain, like the rest of the body, needs proper nutrition and hydration, and its main enemies here are dehydration, even mild, a lack of healthy fats, and an excess of sugar and trans fats, which often hide in baked goods, margarine, fast food. They literally clog the thinking pathways. What can you do? Replace sugary sodas, packaged juices, and even excessive tea-chach coffee, which can dehydrate, with plain water. Try to drink enough water throughout the day. Replace margarine and products with trans fats with healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts, especially walnuts, flax and chia seeds, fatty fish. They contain omega-3 fatty acids, which are building blocks for brain cells. Listen to the story of Mary. She's 65 years old. Mary always prided herself on her memory, but recently she started noticing it was hard to find words. She was forgetting acquaintances' names, and she had to look up recipes she knew by heart. "My thoughts feel sort of sticky, like jelly," she complained to a friend. She drank quite a lot of sweet tea throughout the day, thinking it perked her up, and loved treating herself to cookies or pastries. She hardly ever thought about water. Water? "It's so boring, no taste," she'd say. When her daughter gently suggested she drink more water and add a handful of nuts to her diet instead of cookies, Mary was skeptical, but the feeling of confusion and the fear of worsening memory made her try. She placed a pretty pitcher of water with a slice of lemon on her table and tried to drink it throughout the day. A small bag of walnuts was always in her purse. It wasn't an instant miracle. But after a few weeks, Mary caught herself noticing that it was easier to concentrate while reading. She recalled needed words faster, and the feeling of fog began to lift. Physiologically, sufficient water improved nerve impulse conductivity in the brain, and the omega-3s from the nuts went towards repairing and strengthening cell membranes. The brain received the necessary fuel and lubrication. Psychologically, Mary felt more confident, and the fear of progressive forgetfulness subsided. What's the benefit for you? By improving hydration and adding healthy fats to your diet, you may notice that your thoughts become clearer, memory and concentration improve, and the fog in your head lifts. It's like tuning a staticky radio to a clear station. Clean water and healthy fats aren't just food. They are the best fuel for a clear mind and good memory at any age. Hydrate and nourish your brain properly. A clear mind is wonderful, but for full recovery, we need good sleep. Unfortunately, with age, it too can become a problem. And this is our fourth sign, deteriorating sleep quality. You find it hard to fall asleep, you wake up often during the night, or you wake up in the morning feeling completely unrested. Good sleep is the time when our body recovers, repairs damage, and if this process is disrupted, aging can indeed accelerate. Our evening habits strongly influence sleep quality. A heavy, large dinner late in the evening, especially with fatty or fried food, forces the digestive system to work all night, interfering with deep rest. Caffeine, even consumed in the afternoon, and alcohol before bed, to relax, also disrupt the sleep structure, making it shallow and fragmented. How can you help yourself? Try replacing a heavy late dinner with a lighter, earlier one, 3 to 4 hours before sleep. For example, soup, salad, baked fish, or poultry with vegetables. Replace evening coffee, strong tea, or alcohol with herbal teas, chamomile, lemon balm, mint, or just warm water. Create a relaxing bedtime ritual. A warm bath, reading a book, calm music. Here's the story of Arthur. He's 70 years old. Arthur always considered himself a night owl and went to bed late. Dinner was his main meal, a reward for the day, and he liked to eat heartily. Fried potatoes, meat, and before bed, a cup of coffee or a small glass of cognac, to sleep better. But he slept poorly, tossed and turned for a long time, woke up several times a night, and felt exhausted and irritable in the morning. Old age isn't fun, sleep isn't what it used to be. He sighed. His daughter, a doctor, spent a long time persuading him to change his evening rituals. Arthur resisted. What about the pleasure? I worked all day, I want to relax in the evening. But constant fatigue and a bad mood took their toll. He agreed to an experiment. He moved his main meal to lunchtime. Dinner became light, vegetable soup or cottage cheese with berries. He stopped drinking coffee after lunch, and instead of cognac, his wife brewed him fragrant chamomile tea. The first nights were difficult. Habit demanded its due. But after just a week, Arthur noticed that falling asleep was easier. He still woke up at night, but less often, and his sleep became deeper. In the morning, for the first time in a long while, he felt rested. Physiologically, the light dinner didn't overload his digestion, allowing his body to shift into rest mode. The absence of caffeine and alcohol didn't disrupt his natural sleep cycles. His body got a chance for full recovery. Psychologically, the improved sleep led to a better mood during the day. Arthur became calmer and more patient. What's the benefit for you? By adjusting your evening rituals and making dinner lighter and earlier, you can significantly improve your sleep quality. And good sleep is the key to restoring energy, a good mood, a strong immune system, and slowing down the aging process. A calm evening and a wise approach to dinner are your guarantee for a vigorous morning and well-being throughout the day. Give yourself the gift of quality rest. Good sleep restores energy, but stomach discomfort can sap it and spoil your mood. The fifth sign we'll discuss is exactly that: digestive problems, bloating, feeling heavy after eating, constipation, or conversely, irregular stools. Sound familiar? With age, bowel function can slow down, but very often we worsen the situation with our diet. The main culprit here is a lack of fiber and an excess of processed foods. White bread, pasta from white flour, sweets, fast food, ready-made meals. They contain almost no dietary fiber, which is so necessary for normal bowel function. Fiber is like a broom for our digestive tract. It helps cleanse it and serves as food for the beneficial bacteria living there. Without fiber, all processes slow down, causing discomfort. How to improve bowel function? Replace white bread with whole grain or rye, white pasta with durum wheat or whole grain pasta, white rice with brown or other grains, buckwheat, barley, oats. Eliminate or significantly reduce processed foods, sweets, and fast food. Instead, add vegetables, fresh, stewed, baked, fruits, berries, legumes, beans, lentils, peas, and whole grains to every meal. Don't forget to drink enough water. Fiber works best when it has enough fluid. Let's meet Susan. She's 69 years old. Susan suffered from bloating and constipation for many years. "My stomach is often like a drum," she complained, "and there's such a feeling of heaviness, like I've eaten bricks." Her diet was quite monotonous: a cheese sandwich on white bread in the morning, soup and pasta or potatoes for lunch, and something quick for dinner, often just tea with cookies or crackers. She rarely ate vegetables. "I don't like cooking them, and besides, I'm used to eating this way," she justified. She tried taking laxatives, but they provided only temporary relief and discomfort. A friend advised her to start small, replace her morning sandwich with oatmeal with berries, and add a simple fresh vegetable salad to lunch. Susan was skeptical. Can oatmeal and salad really change anything? But she decided to try, as the discomfort significantly interfered with her life. At first, eating oatmeal instead of her beloved sandwich felt strange, but after just a week, she noticed her stomach bloated less. After another couple of weeks, her stools became more regular, and the feeling of heaviness disappeared. The oatmeal and vegetables added much-needed fiber to her diet. Physiologically, the fiber started working like a brush, stimulating intestinal peristalsis, and as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial microflora. Digestion improved naturally. Psychologically, Susan felt immense relief and lightness. The constant anxiety about her stomach condition subsided. What's the benefit for you? By adding more fiber from vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes to your diet, you can regulate your bowel function, get rid of bloating and heaviness, improve nutrient absorption, and even strengthen your immune system, as gut health is closely linked to the body's overall defense system. Make friends with fiber. Make vegetables, fruits, and whole grains the foundation of your diet, and your stomach will surely thank you with lightness and comfort. When digestion works like clockwork and we're full of energy after a good night's sleep, it often reflects on our appearance as well. And the last, sixth sign we'll look at today is related to this: the condition of your skin. Have you noticed that it has become drier, duller, lost its elasticity, or that new wrinkles or age spots have appeared? Or perhaps you've noticed that minor scratches or bruises heal much slower than before. The skin is a mirror of our internal state, and its youthfulness and health depend directly on what we eat and drink. The main enemies of beautiful skin are dehydration, a lack of antioxidants and vitamins, and excess sugar. Sugar contributes to the process of glycation, the sugaring of proteins, including collagen and elastin, which are responsible for skin elasticity. This makes the skin more fragile and prone to wrinkles, and a lack of water and antioxidants, which fight that rust, free radicals, deprives the skin of radiance and slows its renewal. So, how can you care for your skin from the inside? Replace sugary drinks, sodas, juices, and excess sweets with plain water and herbal teas. Try to drink enough fluids throughout the day. Replace empty calories from white baked goods and sweets with bright, colorful vegetables and fruits. They are rich in antioxidants and vitamins, especially vitamin C, important for collagen synthesis. Eat berries, citrus fruits, bell peppers, dark leafy greens, tomatoes. Add healthy fats, nuts, avocado, olive oil, which help maintain the skin's lipid barrier. Consider the example of Robert. He's 73 years old. Robert never paid much attention to his skin, considering it a woman's concern. But recently, he started noticing that the skin on his hands and face had become very dry, almost like parchment, and small cuts from gardening took forever to heal. He drank very little water, preferring sugary soda or tea with sugar, and liked to snack on cookies or candy. Well, it's age, he thought. His granddaughter, noticing the state of his skin, gently encouraged him to drink more water and eat more fruit. "Grandpa, your skin is just thirsty and needs vitamins," she said. Robert joked it off at first, but then decided to try. It couldn't hurt. He started carrying a water bottle with him and sipping throughout the day. Instead of cookies, he started eating apples and oranges that his granddaughter brought him. After a month or a month and a half, he noticed with surprise that his skin felt less dry, not so tight after washing, and a small scratch on his hand healed noticeably faster. Physiologically, the water began to hydrate the skin from within. Vitamins and antioxidants from the fruit helped fight cell damage and stimulated regeneration processes. Reducing sugar slowed collagen breakdown. The skin started receiving necessary nourishment and protection. Psychologically, Robert felt better seeing these small but pleasant changes in the mirror and feeling his skin was more resilient to minor injuries. What's the benefit for you? By improving hydration and enriching your diet with antioxidants and vitamins, you may notice that your skin has become more hydrated, radiant, and firm, and healing processes have sped up. This is not just an external effect, but also an indicator of your overall health. The beauty and health of your skin don't start with expensive cream, but with your plate and glass of water. Nourish your skin from within, and it will glow with health. So, we've looked at 6 signs that might hint that the aging process is happening a bit faster than we'd like, and 6 simple ways to address this through small changes in diet and habits. I know that changing long-established routines can be challenging. At your age, you have vast life experience behind you, your own traditions, your small joys that you don't want to give up. And you don't have to. This isn't about strict diets or heroic feats. It's about small, conscious steps towards better well-being. You are wise, you know and can do many things. You deserve to feel good, energetic, enjoy every day, your hobbies, and time with loved ones. Try choosing just one piece of advice that resonated with you the most and seems doable. Replace just one product or one habit. Listen to your body after a week, after a month. You might be surprised how tangible the results can be from such simple actions. Don't blame yourself if something doesn't work out right away. The most important thing is your desire to take care of yourself. Remember, your age is a treasure trove of experience, wisdom, and warmth. And self-care is the key to enjoying this treasure for as long as possible with energy and joy. You can do it. Be healthy and take care.